Hello, friends. Today we're going to be talking about active voice versus passive voice. Okay, so let's start with active voice. In active voice, we have the thing doing the action that comes before the verb. We have the thing receiving the action that comes after the verb. So let's take a very short sentence like the dog bit me. In this situation, the thing doing the biting is the dog. It comes before the verb bite. The thing receiving the action of the bite is me. It comes after the verb. Okay. So in academic writing and basically everywhere else, you always want to use the active voice. In other words, in the construct of your sentences, you always want to put the thing doing the action before the verb. Passive voice is a little bit different. The thing receiving the action comes first, and the thing doing the action comes after. So let's take a look at this situation. Same situation, same scenario about the dog biting me, right? In this case, the situation is exactly the same. I was bitten by the dog, and the dog bit me. But the thing receiving the action, which is still me, comes before the verb. The thing doing the action, in this case, the dog, comes after the verb. So when passive voice is used, you also need to use the verb to be with that verb. So to be is words like was or were. And the other thing is in passive voice is used a lot in news articles and TV because we want to emphasize the thing receiving the action, and maybe we don't care or we don't know who was doing the action. So, for example, in the news, you might read something like a body was found. Do we necessarily care who found the body? No, we care about that body being found. Same thing with the intersection was blocked. Does it make a difference if it was blocked by a car accident or an oil spill or a parade? No. What we care about is we care about that intersection being blocked. And the same thing with the mayor was reelected. In this case, we know that the mayor was reelected by the voters. However, that's not necessarily needed. All we care about is the mayor being reelected. In academic writing, you always want to avoid the passive voice. Okay, so here's another helpful hint for you to identify in your own writing where you're using the passive voice. A little formula for you is when you look at the construct of your sentence, if you have the verb to be, and then you also have the past tense of the verb, and then immediately after you have a preposition, you probably have a passive voice construction. So just as a recap, the verb to be looks like this: first, second, third person, singular and plural, am, was, are, were, etc. So let's take a look at this verb down here at the bottom, the verb find. We know that find is the present tense of the verb. And then we have this sentence: the body was found by the investigators. Find, in this case, becomes was found by. And we know that's a passive voice construction because we have the verb to be, which is was. We have the past participle or past tense of the verb, now found. And we have a preposition, which is by. Same thing with block. The sidewalks were blocked for the parade. Were is our to be verb. Blocked is our past participle. And for is the preposition. And the same thing is true with bite and serve. His arm was bitten. The second course was served too. So also, if we don't see the passive voice construction with the to be plus past tense of the verb plus preposition, we also know that the thing receiving the action comes before the verb. So for example, going to the first one, find, what was found? The body was found. The thing receiving the action comes before the verb, therefore it is passive voice. Okay, let's do a little practice. So here are four passive voice sentences. I'd like you to pause this video, read each one, and see if you can change the construct of the sentence from passive to active. Okay, let's take a look at the answers. Let's start with number one. The backyard was covered in leaves. So we have our verb, which is was covered. And what is being covered? What is receiving the action? That is the backyard. It comes before the verb. We know that it is passive voice. So essentially, we're going to change that around. We're going to say dead leaves covered the backyard. Number two, the newspaper was fetched by Rex every morning. was fetched by. We can see the to be verb, the past participle fetched, and then we have the preposition by. So we are going to put Rex at the beginning of the sentence and newspaper after the verb fetch. Rex fetched the newspaper every morning. The situation in Syria was discussed by us. Again, we're going to switch that around. We're going to change the word us to we. We discussed the situation in Syria. And then last one, the decision to build the fence was made by the officials. We have to switch that around and say the officials made the decision to build the fence. Okay. All right, let's do 4 more. I'd like you to pause this video and see if you can figure out the answers here. I'll give you a couple seconds and then I'll reveal the answers. Okay, so I have the answers right here. So take a look and see if you can figure out why I made the decisions that I made, how I transitioned and transferred the thing receiving the action to after the verb, and then let me know if you have any questions. All right, thank you.